live from Random Secret Studios in Philadelphia and the Delaware Valley.
I'm the capo. He's the prez.
And this is Sons of Ben, the
The pod.
Gentlemen, welcome back to Sons of Ben, the pod. This is episode number, and there's only one person that should have this number in Philadelphia.
Yes.
This is Tug McGraw, number 45. Now, Devin, he's the father of Tim McGraw, a country singer, not Tim McDermott, the chief business officer of the union.
Wait, is that real?
Yeah.
Is Tug McGraw actually Tim McGraw's dad?
Oh, yeah.
That's funny. I did not know that. I learned that today.
Yep. Now, he was the, mom and dad didn't know each other kind of thing, but just Wikipedia. But, oh, yeah.
And I love that.
They reconnect it later in life before Tim got big. And then before Tug passed away, he actually has been on stage with him and stuff. So, yeah, Tug used to live in Fairmount, and Tim McGraw still goes to Pete's Pizza in Fairmount to get a cheesesteak when he's in town.
6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. I love it.
Yeah.
These are the things that you did not expect to learn on Sons of Ben the Pod today.
Tug and Tim McGraw Trivia Night. We're here Monday through Thursday. So this week's guest, it's just us. We figure we had enough to talk about. And plus, the way we do pre-production, every guest would have stormed off the air by the time we got to rolling on this. And we did want to welcome back one person to civilization in the East Coast. Welcome back, producer Devin.
I'm back and better than ever.
Yeah.
That's debatable.
All right, a little bit of housekeeping. So we'll do, guys, Beer the Pod, Yards, 2SP, and the Larimer, who have all had visits from the Supporter Shield because we want to take care of those that take care of us. So please make sure while we start phase 2 or 3 of the lockdown, load up on Yards, 2SP, and the Larimer because it's going to be a long winter. We got a little Sons of Ben news. Where do we start? You know what? Let me start. I'm going to jumble this real quick. Elections. Everybody look out this week, next week. We're going to have questions and bios, reasons you should vote. You're going to get to see Devin really campaign hard, throw some mud in someone's eye. It's going to be entertaining as all. Reminder, World Cup 2026. If you haven't done so, Philadelphia2026.com. Get on, sign up, make a pledge. You can make a pledge for $20 and you ain't got to pay it until it's closer. So get that money in there and just say you want to support that because, obviously if you're listening to this pod, you kind of like soccer. So why wouldn't you want the World Cup in Philadelphia in 2026 when all of our homegrowns will be on the field for the USA? Right? Am I right, Adam?
I mean, you say no lies.
Yeah. Viewing parties for Tuesday's game. Yards has got a great deal in the outdoor tent. I think it's $45, open bar, one food item, 4 people to a table, spaced out, heated tent, game on. I don't know anybody else is doing something as good. The Larimer, as long as they can, they are. Kildare's Westchester. They're having it. And we're waiting to see on Zed's. But check the NAC. We'll let you guys know. But there will be some viewing parties as long as we're not on a complete shutdown. And, hey, guys, the Shield was on tour. I was telling producer Devin, the Shield's had a busy 7 or 8 days here in Philadelphia. Adam, did you see a Shield sighting anywhere near you?
No, I haven't seen it. I'm actually patiently waiting for the Shield to find me somewhere in the way. Yeah, hell yeah, I had it. I don't know if anyone saw it. I had an egregious amount of time with it, and I went halfway across the entire Del Val with it because, first off, if you thought any person was going to take it to Wayne before me, looking at you, Matthew Freeze, it was gonna be me. So, got it back to the dub. That was cool. Got my mom got a picture of it. She feeling really cool about it. She said it made her feel like a celebrity. Got a picture. My dad got a picture with it. Super sentimental. And got it to my grandparents' house and got it to the Belmont Plateau. Which, hey, Union, if you just want to use that photo, it's yours. It's fine. I'm here for it.
Photo creds to That's Adam Booth. Yeah, today I was on. I had to bring it, 6:30 in the morning to 28 degrees to Preston and Steve's Camp Out for Hunger, and that was Coach of the Year, which we'll get into later. Jim Curtin was on, and Mr. Latu. So it was Sebastian's first time ever touching the shield, which is kind of cool to see. And I'll just let everybody know, guys, we are, as Sons of Ben, are the custodians of the shield because we're the only supporter group that's representing in ISC, and ISC controls the shield. We're doing everything we can to get it out to as many people as we can. But it's a freaking pandemic, so we can't host a huge event to have people touching an object and then passing it on to another person. That's something they do in Florida. We're not going to do it up in Philadelphia. And two, the team has had a ton of requests these last days. There's been team pictures, guys wanting it, video shoots, the front office. The owners haven't even touched the shield yet. So we're trying to get it to everybody when we can, while we can. So stop panicking about this hierarchy of order. This is really a thing of like, hey, Tuesday afternoon, the shield's free. You want to go take a picture? That's great. And then Wednesday morning, it's got something else. But hopefully, after this first playoff game, things will calm down and we can kind of do some things to get everybody to see it. So I just wanted to let you know that.
And listen, we've got a full year. We've got a full year with this thing.
Yeah, we've got a year. I mean,
Matt.
it did make an appearance on Drunken Union Zoom on Friday. You know,
Matthew, just tell the people what they need to hear. I'm more important than them. Therefore, I got the shield before them. That's what they want to know. It's not this diplomatic hierarchy and like convenience of time. It is we are playing favorites and keep away. If anyone is confused, we are being egregious assholes right now by keeping this away from everybody.
Adam, it's a travesty.
Play with them.
It's a travesty.
Don't play
That's
with
something
them.
I have to clip here and play that out of context.
Please, please, play until the end of time. Take that one out of context. We are being assholes. That's what we're doing right now.
Just
don't be confused.
Selfish people. You know.
Did you not know what SOB stood for?
Yeah, exactly. Selfish bastards, because we're Irish. Bastards.
Bastards. Shaquille bastard. That's what we got going on.
So it did make Drunken Union Zoom. So if you missed it on Friday, you missed out, man. I put my laptop, put the shield in front of it, hit mute, and then I walked away from the laptop. So it made that appearance. And then, of course, remember, guys, Drunken Union Zoom this Friday. Hopefully, Devin will have this pod out before the Zoom. And that will be a reminder to get on it and get your invitation. And speaking of Devin, how about that Discord action, man? How's that been?
It's been going. No predictions this week, but it's been a fun week in there. We got some other games going in there. They were doing some gaming chat in there all week, so that was fun. But nothing too crazy this week. It was a very uneventful week, which is good from my standpoint.
I just got, and it wasn't Discord. This was old school Facebook Messenger, so you know it had to be an old head. But our friend Mike Blankenmeyer just sent me a message like, "Hey, I heard episode number 44. It was, let me quote. I don't want to misquote him. Was a joy. I was driving back from Chambersburg with much joy." So thanks, Mike. We got some positive feedback. It's, make sure you like, dislike. What do you have to do, Adam? Like, repeat, rinse, repeat,
like and subscribe, then unsubscribe, then resubscribe, then comment, give us 5 stars, and then re-comment after that.
All right, why don't we do some Union MLS news? Then we can talk about the big event, and then we can wrap it up. Does that sound okay to you, Devin?
Sounds good.
All right, some Union news. First, let's be the first podcast on the air to congratulate one Mr. Casper Shabilko and his blushing bride. They got married today. I got that verified because we don't stalk them, but we stalk their Instagram. So congrats, Casper. Got hitched, man, putting down roots.
You're acting like you are not the president of the Casper Shabilko fan club.
No, I can only be president of the Sons of Ben, but I am like vice chair of the Casper Shabilko fan club. And founding member lucrative? Of Philadelphia Salzburg FC. But I don't want to be president of that.
RV Salzburg?
RV Salzburg, man. The few, the proud, the 3 of us.
You gotta go squad deep with RV Salzburg, man. That's my team.
Now, speaking of congratulations, Adam, did you hear about Andre Blake?
Now, what he do?
I think he's goalkeeper of the year.
Oh, that thing. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, the phrase "duh" is thrown around so loosely these days, you know? And, I mean, here's the thing. I actually shout out to Matt Turner, because Matt Turner had himself a hell of a year. And he's half the reason why New England's even in the playoffs to begin with, because their offense was stagnant and almost anemic at times. But he was a brick wall in his own respect. But the amount of things Andre Blake did, not only in the MLS's back tournament, but to put the Union in a position to be Supporter Shield winners. Yeah, duh.
Yeah, and that was a drubbing that he put on in that voting, so that was pretty impressive. And then we got the news just recently. Friend of the pod, former guest of the pod, one Mr. Jim Curtin did a thing. Did you hear that, Adam?
Now, what he do?
He's coach of the year.
So another duh. And as the local diplomat, also resident asshole of the podcast, I will say to my friends in Orlando, your dude's good. That's a very good coach. You guys should not win an award based off of being pathetic last year and now being not pathetic this year. I'm sorry if that was your reasoning for why he won Coach of the Year, is that we were absolute trash last season and this year we're not trash. That's a good reason, I guess, but that's also like, you really admitting that out loud, that loud? I mean, that's pretty loudly saying we were terrible. Okay, I mean, I get it.
And allow me a little bit of leeway. I want to go on a small tangent. I actually talked to Jim last week when I had the Shield, because I wanted to bring it over, because he lives in the city, not too far. I figured, let me get it to him before it gets to everybody. And by the time we got it, I'm on the phone with him. He goes, "Oh man, no, I'm on my way to soccer practice," because they were off. He's like, I'm a little, hungover, but I'm on my way to soccer practice. And then one of his other kids, there was a 4:30 practice and a 6 o'clock practice. And all I was thinking about, do you think Jim Curtin intimidates the living shit out of these youth soccer coaches? Like, imagine you're like this dad just sitting there on the sideline, like just yelling at like 8-year-olds or some crap. And then you look at the sidelines and you got all these other suburban dads in cargo shorts and crispy white New Balances. And then you see Jim Curtin in tapered pants and his Yeezys with that intense stare. And you're like, oh shit. Like, and then does Jim come over and be like, hey, you got some athletic 8-year-olds there. You should think about a high press system. Like, do you think Jim like just intimidates the living crap out of these youth coaches? I think he does.
I think Jim Curtin, in the nicest way that I can possibly say this, is a certified dork when it comes to his children. Like, I think in that setting, he's like LeBron is with his kids, where like LeBron is like LeBron's a dad. Like, LeBron is the greatest basketball player of all time, and then also the biggest cheerleader dad who's ever existed when it comes to his children like that. So I just think there's like the intenseness that we see with him with his players. I just think he's just like much more of a dork when it comes to his actual children. And look, Jim's great. I think he's very intimidating, but I mean, if he was like 5'10", he wouldn't be as intimidating. That's also a thing too.
I just see Jim like watching practice and going over this youth coach going, hey, little Susie's got a little problem with her footwork. We did this thing. Give me some string. We did this and we fixed El Seno. And they're like, Jim, she's 4.5. She doesn't even know her colors. She barely can use the bathroom on her own. Like, calm down, Jim. Like, I just think Jim's like, give me some cones, 2 balls, and I'll fix this kid's issues.
Look, if you were not watching the NBA draft last night, which last night would technically be Wednesday because we're recording on a Thursday, that's, context. Obviously, there was kids that were like, I've been watching tapes since 2nd grade. My dad's been getting me on dribbling drills and all this stuff. And I'm just like, man, in today's competitive markets, if you're not starting at 4, you're done.
Yeah, you're left behind.
Devin, you've already concluded your daughter is never going to achieve. Like, right? She's nowhere near where she needs to be at this age.
Depressing.
Like,
Bucks County Community College all the way.
Look, she might make by then we'll have a Division II women's soccer league, and then maybe she'll make it. But obviously, she's never going to be Mia Hamm now because she's not kicking it off the crossbar already. What do you mean?
And it's all your fault, Devin. All your
really
fault.
Is. Look, if LeVar Ball has two children who were both drafted in the top 5 of the NBA, that's the first time that's ever happened in the history of the NBA. All of the parents are failures. That's
Is
just
it?
it. It's achievable, and the rest of y'all haven't done it yet.
Well, on the note of Jim Curtin, let me just blow past this. No, I don't know if I don't know if you guys saw the amazing Athletic article. If you guys haven't seen it, go subscribe to the Athletic and read that because it was an amazing write up, and it went back through Jim's path to where he is today, and he started with 4-year-olds in the Union Academy, and it's
I
just
saw
like,
that picture. It is great.
yes, that picture is amazing. Seeing Jim, and it's like try to caption that picture of him standing in front of a line of like 10 5-year-olds. Like, what is, and like knowing how tactical he is and how he is today, like, what do you think he's telling these 5-year-old kids?
He's telling those kids, if you don't pick your nose, you'll get an orange slice. That's what he's probably. That's probably the biggest challenge he had at the time.
Just no bunching. Just don't bunch. Just everyone stand at least like that was the original social distancing, was telling youth soccer players to not all go directly to the ball when it was kicked. It's
Jim
like,
Shishon, don't kick the
gotta
ball,
stay
kick
back.
through the ball, kick through the ball. Yeah.
Am
But
I?
no,
Go ahead.
no. What are the other, like in that article? It talked about how Jim going into that Montreal game in what was it 2018, beginning 2018, how he felt like if they lost that game, he was going to lose his job, and like he was ready. He mentally prepared himself that if that result did not go his way, he was going to lose his job. And to go from there to where he is now is just absolutely insane. And um, I'm not one of the people that will go through Twitter and look at all the people that were calling for Jim,
Oh,
2 years ago, and because it's not, I mean, hindsight's 2020 and all, but nobody could have foreseen what would have happened in the next 2 years after that point, and it's absolutely amazing for the front office and for them to keep faith in him and keep him. Part of that article talked about how Jesse Marsh interviewed for the Union head coach job, talked about how there was other coaches around the league that they were going to play games and that he would talk to them, and they were interviewing for his job while he was still head coach, and they were telling him about it. And it's just like, to have the mental toughness that Jim Curtin has had over the past few years, and for the front office to stick with it, I mean, absolutely amazing.
and this I just want to reply to that. God, I was at the Columbus game when Taylor Twitbox had to say and throw our name in there and goes, "Oh, and the Sons of Ben even want him fired." Hey, jerk off. No, we never wanted him fired. Of course, yeah, there were people in our group. You can't control the whole group that on Twitter might have wanted him fired. I know me personally, I never did. I got to meet Jim when I got on the board. Was his first year, and what a year! Like, and we talked about it with him. He's had 5 or 6 sporting directors, a wacko in the front office at one point. He had to deal with Ernie Stewart, like just whatever you want to say, rewriting the ship, getting disciplined, but only would play one way in this rigid system. And I was concerned that he was going to lose his job when Ernst Tanner came in. But then a credit to Jim and a credit to Ernst Tanner, they just said, Ernst's like, hey, the guys love him, and the guy's a great soccer mind. Why don't I give him a chance? And now you can't imagine the Philadelphia Union without Jim Curtin. So I'm so happy he made it through the storm, and so happy for him winning Coach of the Year, and the Supporter Shield. He's what, only the third person to win the Supporter Shield as a player and a coach. I mean, it's pretty impressive.
If I can, for a May, throw my pop psychology hat on here for a second and, kind of dissect the human condition.
Let me get on the
for a
couch.
moment. Please, please, I'll go a little Fraser Crane on here. I'm listening. But look, if you want to talk about the dynamics of what it makes up a team, a franchise, an organization, and all that, when a team is losing, there is always blame. There is always an individual that you have to put on the chopping block because that is just human nature as a whole. If something is going wrong, there is a catalyst to that thing going wrong, and removal of that catalyst will make it go right. That's just the mental philosophy about this. This is a successful thing, maybe about 40% of the time at best, but people still subscribe to this by its very nature. I say this to say there was 42 different things going wrong with the Philadelphia Union during the beginning of the Jim Curtin era. You know, you were still reeling from your previous sporting director, even after the Hackworth years. You know, you had to deal with an identity of a team that you had no idea, a revolving door of, at best, what we can only consider as mediocre talent. And you had to deal with the fact that you couldn't capture your city for whatever reason, whether it was the fact that the other teams were better during the time period. The Phillies were still great when the Union started. You know, the Sixers were getting their process going. The Eagles won a Super Bowl. You know, it's hard for the Union to crack that when the other teams are actually doing things that are interesting. All this is to say, it wasn't Jim. It wasn't just Jim. If you want to say that Jim wasn't a good substituter, if you want to say that his tactics weren't perfect in the earliest stages of it, it wasn't just Jim. And Jim, in his first season, got this team to an Open Cup final. And we always talk about the beauty of the Open Cup and how any team could just get hot at the moment. But then he did it again. And then he did it again. And it's like, you don't get to 3 Open Cup finals as a team that's definitely punching below its weight by accident. You know, it does when you're literally putting guys out there like Pedro Ribeiro against Clint Dempsey in the damn U.S. Open Cup final. That's not an accident that you got Pedro Ribeiro, Michael Lahoud, and those people to a final in the first place. If you just take that sample, you knew Jim was good enough. It took a matter of putting the correct bullets in the gun to allow him to do what he needed to do. And because the Union decided that they weren't going to do quick fixes, they weren't going to do DPs, they weren't going to, or big name DPs, that they were going to grow within and find uncut gems and unturned stones, then yeah, it's going to take a while, but that is the patience. And this takes as much credit for Jim as Ernest Tanner. Because for Ernst to even believe in Jim, because everyone and their mom would have been like, this is completely reasonable. You're a new sporting director. This is a new time. It's your new era. Go get a new mind. Go get a new coach. And he was just like, I see what this is. I'm going to give him a shot. And Jim has rewarded him to the point where the only people who were detractors for Jim winning Coach of the Year were saying, well, the Union were good last year. He didn't really improve them that much.
Yeah, no, bullshit. But anyhow. And with the detractors, what I was, me personally, get upset. Oh, he took him to 3 Open Cups, but lost. If he loses the Supporter Shield, you guys are the Buffalo Bills. Guess what? Marv Levy's still in the Hall of Fame.
Were
You
the
still ain't a
Buffalo
bad
Bills
coach.
bad?
You got there. You know,
The Buffalo
like
Bills weren't bad.
No.
They just lost Super Bowls, but those teams were tremendous.
Yeah.
Like those teams had Hall of Famers. Like you had all up and down those rosters Hall of Fame players. They just didn't win the Super Bowl. You know, that's not a bad team. Making 3 U.S. Open Cup finals in the span of 5 years is impressive no matter who the bleep you are. You know, making 3 FA Cup finals is impressive no matter who the hell you are. Jim Curtin with always not a trendy roster, always probably the weaker roster going into 80% of those games anyway. You weren't supposed to beat Seattle that year. You weren't supposed to beat Kansas City that year.
He just won the Supporter Shield with a cast of veterans and some people that can't even shave, let alone drink in a bar.
Legitimately, if you're a soccer fan, if you're a casual soccer fan in America, you only know one person on the Philadelphia Union. That's Alejandro Bedoya, and that's passing. And that's passingly you know that man. And that team, I mean, look, shout-outs to Toronto, shout-outs to Columbus. For a large portion of this season, the Union dominated.
Without a doubt. Now, all right, we'll put a bow on this with the Jim Curtin quote of the week. And here comes Devin's like eyes rolling over. There isn't a Jim Curtin quote of the week. All we have is a little message from us, Humble 3 of Sons of Ben the Pod, to our good friends, friends of the pod, the ownership group that we all know and love, that we talk to all the time. And here's the quote. Pay that man his money.
Look,
it.
man.
That's it.
We're going to have a lot of money to give these people soon, apparently.
And I mean, it's kind of weird. You know, some of the quotes that have been coming out, and you know, some rumors floating around. They're out there. I mean, you know, Jim's Jim said that he wants to coach at that level someday, in Europe, and the rumors are going. So
Why not?
Back
Look,
it up, boys. Let's keep
yeah,
him for a little
exactly. I
while
mean,
longer. Let's, you know
and
what?
and speaking of that, there is some other rumors about our assistants. I don't know if you guys have seen any of those, but it looks like we're at least losing one assistant over the course of this off season, and possibly two. So you can take that for what it's worth.
Look, pray
Yeah.
Jamaica doesn't get its FIFA ranking up.
Yeah, I mean,
So
yeah, that's the price. That's the price you pay for a good team.
it happens. Listen, you're going to lose coaches. You're going to lose players. You're going to lose players to national teams during next season. I mean, listen, and the other thing, price of being good, we're going to be playing in December. Adam takes his trip to CONCACAF in January. Like, these guys are going to get like 2.5 weeks off, man. But it's right back
CONCACAF?
in.
That's an interesting one.
Concaf.
What's
We'll
CONCACAF?
we'll let it slide. We'll let it slide.
CONCACAF.
We'll let it slide.
No,
Yeah.
we are not. We are holding on to CONCACAF for a while. That's
Yeah,
what
we'll
we're
hold
gonna
on to
do.
that for a while. Well,
That's
you
the
know,
new Confifi. That's what that is.
so I mean, that's the price, man. There's going to be some wear and tear on these guys because they good now, and it's something we should get used to. It's the I don't want to quote '80s hair Doug Peterson, but this is the new normal.
But here's the thing, though. We're gonna sit here and act like the Union aren't ready to reload when this is ready.
Oh.
Like the Union are in a prime position
Yeah.
to say, "Oh, do you want to take Kyle Wanger? Real, you're good. You ready? All right, your time. Okay, so you're gonna take it, Brendan Aronson, Fontana. You want to do the number 10 thing for a while until they take you away from us in a year? Okay, let's make that happen. McKenzie, you're good. Elliott, go take your regular position back as your starting center back. Like, this team is just gonna reload, and they already just signed another kid to the youth academy today. It's a machine now. What they are doing in Wayne is a machine now.
Sorry, I have to finish my beer, but
Please
don't
do.
forget this, Adam. The biggest challenge the Union going to have next year is carpooling some of these new kid signings because they don't even drive yet.
No, the Union are going to have the youngest median age roster probably in MLS. And they're still going to be one of the best teams in this league because that thing we bemoaned the whole time, that thing that we were all making fun of, we were all saying that like the Union don't spend money. The Union never spend. We never get the big DPs. New York's outspending us. They're getting Tim Cahill and Bradley Wright Phillips. And how many cups did that get them? And you got LAFC out there. It's like we got our Diego Rossi. And they got one Supporter Shield. And as a Supporter Shield winner, I understand the importance of that. Even shout out to Red Bull Supporter Shield a couple years ago. But like, what did those giant DPs get them?
No cups.
They lost to teams that had foundations. They lost to the teams like the Torontos, like the Seattles, like the teams that have been the Kansas Cities, the teams that have been established, the teams that have academies, the teams that have been doing this for a long time. And the thing about this is the Union are about to be one of those stalwarts because the thing we already knew was the Del Val is saturated with athletic talent. Like the areas around Philadelphia have not just casually good talent. We're talking about some of the best athletes the planet Earth has offered in their respective sports have come from South Jersey, have come from Southeastern PA, have come from Northern Delaware, have come from Northern Maryland. And we are tapping into this well, to this fountain, into this Texas tea, if you will, of talent. And this is going to be a thing for a while. And that should be exciting to Union fans because you're going to keep seeing kids from towns near you kicking balls in the net and possibly playing for the U.S. national team.
Yeah. All right. So we touched on the past. We explored the future. Let's talk about the present, gents. Let's talk about Tuesday. One, I want to thank the maker that Subaru Park is in Chester, Pennsylvania, and not under the realm of one incompetent mayor, Jim Kenney, because fans are still in the stands for Tuesday night, 8:15 kickoff at Subaru Park.
How meta is that? how meta is the being in Chester has actually succeeded for the Union in a way that no one could have ever envisioned. Like, Eagles fans are having conniptions right now that they were allowed in a stadium. They were first not allowed in, then allowed in, now not allowed in again. And then Chester was just like, "You're good. Come on in. Come down to Delco. We're fine."
There's one thing Union fans can say that nobody else, I think, in the world, the sport, maybe one or two people in the sporting world can say, 2020 is our year.
The irony of this year for the Philadelphia Union is so palpable. Like, this just like, of course, this is the year where everything is going right for this team. Like, absolutely the most dramatic year of the past 120 years. Of course, this is what's happening.
Before we touch on the playoffs, I actually reached out and spoke with the producers of Sons of Ben, the movie, and we were just talking about the whole evolution and maybe putting a bow on this thing, and just saying, like, can you imagine, like, 2008 to 2010, how that story was with the economy collapsing, and now 2020 hits, but the Union are floundering. Those guys are like, we might have enough for a new movie. Like, it's just mind-blowing that how the story has evolved.
Forged in ineptitude. Like, the Philadelphia Union are a baby of problem, corruption, and just insanity. Hoopla. This team is a product of hoopla. Tomfoolery at its best. And legitimately, they won a championship in the middle of a global pandemic. That is, like, the phrase "that's so Union" has never been, like, applied better in the history of mankind. We all had to wear surgical masks over our face while they lifted a Captain America shield over their head. What is this team? What is this history? Like, the history of the Union is going to be one of the more fascinating histories in American soccer. Like, it's just how this team became, how this team progressed, how this team continued. It's just like every turn there's this, what the hell is wrong with y'all?
And there's only one person to blame and then thank. It's producer Devin, because he brought that Tottenham spirit into this club.
It is such a Tottenham club. Oh my God, we are such a Tottenham club now.
I think I found my campaign motto, the champion of hoopla. That's what I'm going with there.
Look, if you want to break down what this is in a nutshell, this is the greatest year in the worst year. Like, this is, and for us, it's like a bit of levity. It's a bit of something that can take our mind off of it. Like, us as Union fans have had such weird years when the world was fine. The fact that our best year is when the world's on fire, that makes sense to us. You know, that's a comforting place.
This has been the bright spot of this year. This is the thing that you're like, you know what? I'm going to get out of bed today, put my pants on, because we got Union game, or we got Union Twitter to talk about. You know, usually you want to hide in bed because there's a Union game or Union Twitter, but now, shit, it's
no, I still want to hide in bed for Union Twitter. What do you mean?
Yeah, that's true.
I hope you at least have pants on right now. That's all.
Hey, you said don't those were optional.
Don't ask the questions you don't want to know the answers to.
I wore a hoodie. Feel good.
Playoffs. What are we thinking? We've got 3 possible opponents. Let's run it down. The Montreal Canadian Impact from Harrison, New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
We've got David Beckham's Miami. My star player has a temper when anybody criticizes him when he screws up. And then we've got, who else do we have? Montreal. No, we said Montreal.
Nashville.
No, we won't get Nashville.
And New England.
New England.
I blocked New England out of my mind because it's like, do we play them for the 16th time? So yeah, the possibilities are New England, Miami, and Montreal. What are you guys' thoughts? Where does your mind wander? Because I go, we're gonna beat them all, and then the paranoid me goes, ooh, not New England. Ooh, not Higuain. Oh my God, Thierry Henry. No, like, so what are you guys thinking?
I will, and here's the thing: famous last words. I'll gladly take a Montreal Impact team right now. That's fine. I think the Union are better than all of these teams. The question is, which one of these teams is just going to trip them up by accident because of something? Now, the Union tend to lose to a dude. That's how the Union tend to lose. They don't lose to a team. They lose to, like, a singular dude most of the time.
Used to.
Right. That's true. But it's just like, This is like if we were playing Orlando, I'd be like, Nani makes me uncomfortable. I don't think he'll beat us by himself, but he makes me uncomfortable. The people who play for Inter Miami make me uncomfortable, and not even Higuain. It's more Blaise Matuidi because he finally
Yeah.
scored and he can do that. So I'm like, if Blaise Matuidi gets going, that's a scary thing. So I'm like,
Now I'll counter that. On a
Yeah.
Tuesday night at 8:15 when it's going to be 42 degrees and windy, I don't know if he's ready for that.
bruh, they play a winter schedule, and he went to play for Juventus. They play in Torino. They had a Winter Olympics there. They are used to playing in freezing cold temperatures in northern Italy. That's not a thing.
After a year in Miami, man. I think his
Blaise
I think his
Matuidi been
blood
there
got
5
thinned out.
weeks.
Yeah.
Blaise Matuidi been there 5 weeks. I'm going to tell you this right now. I don't think that's going to affect them in any capacity. Again, northern Italy is cold as shit in the middle of January, and that's when they play soccer. So,
All right,
they'll
Devin,
be back.
your thoughts on facing Miami?
They're definitely a team that you don't want to play. I agree with Adam. I don't want to play Miami. I'll take any of the other teams. I don't want Miami.
I'm gonna say I'll take anyone, and as like for Sons of Ben for the we're Miami, we will have the most vicious chance for both Beckham and Higuain. Like it will be electric in the river end, even if there's only like 100 of us. But yeah, you can see the little bit of I think we all agree Montreal. What, Devin, Montreal?
I honestly, I mean, at this point, I wouldn't even mind playing New England again. Montreal's fine. I don't like at that point. It's like I don't care.
New
Give me
England.
Montreal and New
The
England. I don't
only
care.
the only reason I kept saying it, like I was like, oh, I'm worried about Bruce. Bruce, eventually figures it out. That doesn't scare me. What scares me is the way the Union stole their freaking hearts on that last game. That I go, maybe those guys are all like, man, if we've got any sense of pride, we need to grab ourselves by our manhood and play this team.
They didn't steal their hearts. I mean, it's not like they missed the playoffs. I mean, they lost the game, sure,
They
but it's
looked
not like
they didn't want to be there.
Of course they
during
want
that
to
game.
be there. No one wants to watch a team win a championship in front of them. That sucks.
But they played that way from the first 5 minutes on.
They knew what was coming. They knew they couldn't stop it. They knew they knew that the Union would end their lives before they would allow them to win that championship that day. And the thing about it is, what I find at the core of it is, take out New England again and just put them to bed because they're not better than you. Just put them to bed. You can beat them.
We do like beating Robert Kraft in this city. I will say that.
Look, the Eagles just lost to the Giants, right? And this is the first time the Eagles lost to the Giants since 2016. If you have a team that you could just spank over and over and over and over and over and over again, just do it. The Union's greatest record against any opponent in the history of MLS is against the New England Revolution. And this season alone has just expanded that gap in such an obscene kind of way. Like, it was just like, the Union are unbeaten in like 7 straight against New England. Just put them to bed. If that has to be a first round, treat it like a first round bye.
I mean, everyone, stay tuned. Listen to the knack. I don't know. Maybe I can convince Devin that we'll do a mini pod on Monday real quick. But we'll get you updates on, one, where you can watch it if you don't have tickets, where we're gonna be before the game, with COVID, who can still be open, that kind of stuff. Where the Shield will be. The Shield will be in the River End for that game. Tuesday is going to be crazy. I don't care who we play. I mean, I know we've all just dissected who we'd rather have, not have. But in the end, we're the Supporter Shield winner. We're better than all those teams. So let's just bring it on. I can't wait for that playoff game. I guess, Devin, what did we miss before we get into other news?
I don't really think I have anything.
Wow, look at that. This is a clean show, knock on wood.
That's pretty good.
All right, so international call-ups. Looks like our boy Jamiro and Mbaizo, they both got starting time, not just playing time. And from what I understand, they're both back on their way or in Pennsylvania. I know Jamiro was on a charter flight, so that shouldn't be an issue with the quarantine rules about him playing. I didn't see anything on Mbaizo, but we'll see. But it looks like they're back and healthy. And let's just get into a touch of the Premier League, and then some news in other football within the United Kingdom. So,
Well, hang on. First,
uh-oh.
let's congratulate both of them on both getting starts, especially Mbaizo, who, first cap for his national team and starts both games, and Cameroon won both their games. So I didn't get to see the games, but I mean, he played full 90 minutes both games, and he only came out with one yellow card, so that's all I know.
That doesn't accrue to the MLS, right?
No. Montero, on the other hand, started both games, but Cape Verde with 2-0-0 draws in both of their games against Rwanda. So there's that. But
Well, yeah, congratulations to those guys. Just to, what an honor to represent your country. All right, speaking about countries, Premier League, it's back this weekend. Devin, do you want us to go on about your squad, or should we just gloss over how our beloved Chelsea just is drawing Newcastle, and we'll just trounce them to no end, and then Adam and I can dance around in the city streets on Saturday?
I am fully prepared to beat Man City this weekend. That is how far I've gone down the Mourinho hole here, and I feel like this is the team. I mean, we're in a good spot here. I mean, if they can.
That's Devin drinking because he thinks they're going to beat Man City.
No, I mean, if they can, they've got some good form right now. They've got all their players. They're healthy.
You're talking about the men's side, right? Not the women's side? I'm just checking.
Well, the women's side is not doing too much better, so we don't have to talk about them. So, but no, I think they are in a good position that if they can put away a few of these games, they're still going to be top three.
Well, I mean, secretly, I am rooting for you because I love to see Jeff Mitchell's Man City take the old L. But Adam, how you feeling about our Chelsea squad against mighty, mighty, mighty Newcastle United?
Can we just win the whole thing already? I'm tired and I'm bored. Like, what is this? This season's going to be boring to me because we're so much better than everyone, and it's going to be annoying when we're not winning. This is what I believe this is what Alabama feels like, right? like when they play like the Citadel and they got to be like, all right, I guess we got to play the Citadel this week. That's what playing Newcastle feels like to me. It's like we have to do this. Like it's South Carolina upstate. Like we have to do this game. We don't really feel like it. Can we just win the whole thing already? I'm tired.
So you couldn't beat Southampton, but yet you're fully confident that you could just throw away Newcastle.
Absolutely. Look, all of the beginning of this season is COVID and growing pains. Everything beyond that is Chelsea's the most dominant team in the EPL, and that's just a fact. Now, what's going to catch up with you is the fact that our goalie has been an absolute brick wall since he showed up into America and for his country as well. So he's been fantastic. We actually might have figured out what a back line looks like, which is crazy. Once you get Rudiger out there, you can actually play defense. Crazy concept. Our middle of the field, I feel like we should probably get Jorginho out of there, but I mean, he looks good, so I'll keep him in there. That's our Olivier Giroud replacement, if you will, and the sexiness of the starting 11. And our front three, even without Christian Pulisic, scares me. So what? What am I supposed to be? Not arrogant and cocky with this beautiful $220 million transfer window in front of me? We're going to win everything. Maybe not the FA Cup or the Caribou Cup. Who gives a shit? Everything else, we're going to win that.
Now, speaking of European powerhouses, we have a little local tie-in. I don't know if you guys saw the ticker, the news, but Rob McInerney from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, St. Joe's Prep, teamed up with some guy from Deadpool, Ryan something or other. I think he's got a gin company and he does some movies like People Magazine, something like that. But apparently they bought the mighty, mighty squad of Wrexham FC in Wales. Have you guys seen this?
I did see this. This is it has been awesome watching this. Their social media team has capitalized on this opportunity for sure.
If you don't get this jersey, you can't call yourself a hipster. I'm just telling you right now.
Look.
Hipsters all over the U.S. are flooding that Welsh website just to get that kit. You know that's happening.
I am so happy that someone named a soccer club off of my favorite character on Mass Effect. That is such a great inside joke that they literally named him after Rex. That's Wrexham.
Sure.
I love it. No,
Sure, that's how it went.
first
Now,
off,
you know they're the third oldest football team in the world, and their stadium is the oldest current structure. You're You got that right.
If you don't believe that EA Sports did not plan Mass Effect, the original game, back in the 1920s, I don't know what to tell you, man. I just feel like that was a little bit ahead of the curve. But hey, no, look, cool. I love this. I love Americans getting into soccer like this. I know it's kind of a joke, but it's kind of real. And like, I remember watching when Wimbledon lost their team, and they got Wimbledon AFC, and then they made a whole like docu-series on them that was sponsored by Budweiser super hard, and it was just like watching them not become like a seventh division club into something that was like worth being in, a competitive professional soccer. That's like pro rel in not America is super cool to watch. I love that stuff.
It is awesome.
It's
because
great.
right now they are a 5th tier team.
That's great.
Where do you think they end up after
Third
this?
tier. You know they're going to at least League One.
Yeah. And so they're a 5th-tier team, but McInerney's already said on local radio waves that he wants to try to set up with a friendly with the Philadelphia Union. Now, granted, PA Casa teams could probably beat his squad right now, but I would pay good money to see this.
They should play Lone Star first and see if they're ready.
Jeremy,
But
get
yeah,
bear fight ready.
Yeah, exactly. They can't be bear fight. Let's see if they can go beat us first. Shouts to
No,
Wilmington.
it makes that whole, like you said, the whole pro rel thing is so cool because like this is a 5th tier team that now they have such massive aspirations. Whereas if in America, if you're a 5th tier team, you're a 5th tier team. You're not going anywhere.
But it's just,
But
and
hey,
look,
you know.
I'm a big fan of pro rel, just not in America because I don't think the lower divisions are
Yeah,
are
we
full,
couldn't
fill
do that
out.
right now.
They're not
Yeah.
They're not full enough yet. Like a soccer in the lower tier I think it could get there, and there's a chicken and the egg discussion. If you gave them the pro rel option, they would invest more to do the thing, and I'm just like. Look, I'm not confident enough that if you kick out Chicago and bring in Reno, that's good yet. Like, I'm not sure that's a good net for anybody yet.
It will be a long term.
Right,
Anybody
exactly.
in America that thinks pro rel would work, go look at the Mexican League right now. Because all they do is as soon as their team gets relegated, they buy the team that came up, and that's all that would happen. So it doesn't work here, but it is highly entertaining to watch in Europe because it's part of the culture. I have one very serious question for you guys. I need a very serious answer. If this happens, that there's a friendly, Wrexham FC out of Wales playing the Union Elsino 13s, who you got?
Elsenio 13s, what are you doing? They beat half of South
Yeah, there's no
America. Like that, like. Can we say some people's youth academies are better than some professional clubs? Like, that's the thing I can say, and I'm not, like, stretching an imagination by saying that. I'm going to assume in the 3 years it's going to take Wrexham to really get off the ground here, that the 15-year-old Elsinos will beat the shit out of them, yes.
We're going to have to get McInerney on the show now. I'm going to call all my St. Joe's prep friends, get them on so we can challenge his team versus our 13s and see what happens. We're going to throw down, man.
Look, after I become sporting director of whatever soccer club, the women's soccer club that happens here, because duh, at least not sporting director, at least there's president of non-soccer operations, because is that a title? I want to do that.
Yeah, McDermott's got that one.
McDermott, let me just do that for the women. NWSL, I'm here for the squad. But what's going to be important about that, and what's going to be the thing that's going to, change is we're going to build a beautiful stadium in the middle of King of Prussia. And when they do that, we can bring Wrexham over, and then they can play the Elsinos, because we don't need to sully the brand name of Wayne, Pennsylvania.
That's 2 drinks you owe me, Devin. And on that note, Devin, do we have anything else to touch upon?
Let's wrap it up.
Everybody, we are going to see you on Tuesday night. That was episode number 45, Mr. Tug McGraw. And on that note, God bless America and wash your hands.
Sexy.